Welcome to the latest edition of the LL Basketball Roundtable, brought to you, as always, by the fine folks at Student Transportation of America. Regular season almost over as we sit here on a Wednesday, and playoffs coming. So we're going to break down the Lancaster 11 League playoffs, which begin on Saturday. And we will do that with Jason Barenti, who covers boys basketball for LNP, LancasterOnline.com. Jeffrey Reinhardt, who does the same thing for the girls, and I'll be mediating this whole deal. Sweet. My name is Mike Gross. So let's start with going through the brackets. Let's start with the boys, which quarterfinal games on Monday. These are the top two finishers in each of the four sections of our league. And the bracket, top half of the bracket, Cedar Crest, Section 1 champion, my alma mater, not that that matters. They will be taking on the Section 4 runner-up Lancaster Country Day. The winner of that game will play the winner of Manheim Central, which has really been rolling of late, and Conestoga Valley, which is the Section 2 runner-up. Central, the Section 3 champion. So, Jason, what do you think?
Interesting.
Central playing well enough, because it feels like they overachieved, but
20-2.
Yeah,
a 20-2.
That's
a 20-win regular season.
Yeah.
Their only loss in the league play is at Octorara, which everyone knows is a really hard place to play. They just beat Warwick at home. Warwick, the Section 2 champion, by rallying from 14 points down in the second half. 4 starters who average in double figures. That is their offense. Almost no one else contributes any points. They're tough, they play good defense, and they're just mentally hard to beat. They find ways to win close games. Central's never won the league championship, and I would say this might be the best shot they've ever had.
Wow.
They have a tough road, though. They have to face CV, and if they win that, they'd have to play Cedar Crest, which is the defending league champ, and on a run of its own here, winning Section 1, which even if Section 1's down, it's still Section 1. It's all the big schools, so you don't dismiss Cedar Crest. I mean, they have to be right up there with the top contenders.
Saw the Falcons last night, and they are playing pretty well right now. They've got a big guy, which hardly anybody else has. They have a real big guy, 6'8", R.J. Young, and they also have a similar to last year in that they have one guy who can create his own shot. Danny Speaks, very athletic. He had 22 points last night as they beat Penn Manor to lock up the section title and do the cutting down the nets thing and all that. So the Falcons are playing pretty well. Tommy Smith said he thinks there's a lot of teams in this bracket that can win it. It's wide open. He agrees that it's not a vintage year for the league, but thinks a lot of teams are eminently capable. And then the other half of the bracket, Section 4 champion Lancaster Mennonite against the Comets of Penn Manor, who finished second in Section 1, and Warwick, Section 2 champion, versus Octorara, the Section 3 runner-up, which is an intriguing, I think, game. That's
right now, Octorara is ahead of LS in the power ratings. That's the tiebreaker. It's 709 to something like 702. I don't think LS can make up that ground, so Octorara would get in and would play at Warwick. I think the Mennonite Penn Manor game is interesting because you could make the argument that the Section 4 champ is the favorite in this matchup, which is almost never the case. Usually when Section 4 plays Section 1, the Section 1 team should win. Even when Mennonite won the state championship, they were underdogs because they had to play Hempfield in the first round, which was the eventual league champ. So that'll be interesting. Mennonite could win the thing, there's no doubt. And the thing about Mennonite is they're all underclassmen. They all played last year, they've all been starters this year, and they'll all be together next year. This is a window where they can accumulate a lot of gold medals. Penn Manor rallied against Manheim Township in the first league game of the season. They were down 8 late, they pulled it out, and that was the tiebreaker between Penn Manor and Manheim Township getting in. And we talked about it, if ever you want to get into the field, this is the year because the title is up for grabs, and it seems like maybe 6 or 7 teams are capable of winning.
Because of that, to be clear now, because of that late rally, they won the head-to-head.
Yeah, they swept the season series, and both teams were 6-4 in the league. So Penn Manor gets in, and Township thinks about missed free throws, I guess, because that's what cost them the game.
To the girls, Rhines, here we go.
All right.
Section 1 champion. These are on Saturday. Quarterfinals and the boys are on Monday. These are coming right up on Saturday this week. Lebanon Section 1 champion versus Columbia Section 4 runner-up and Lancaster Catholic. Again, this is how they appear on the bracket, which I screwed that up a little bit on the boys' side. Lancaster Catholic versus Conestoga Valley, which is the Section 2 runner-up in both boys and girls.
Yep.
Jeffrey.
Upper bracket here is definitely the tougher of the two. Lebanon Columbia, 4th year in a row they're playing in the league playoffs,
how about that?
in the quarterfinals. Well, they played in the finals a couple of years ago, but 4th year in a row for the Tide and the Cedars. Lebanon's probably the favorite here. They're the veteran team. They've been around. They've been here, done that. So they'll host the Tide. Catholic CV, interesting. Buckskins have had a pretty good little season here. They got runner-up. They wanted to make the postseason. They did. This will be their only postseason glory. CV is not going to make districts with a winning record. And their reward is going to Lancaster Catholic and playing the defending champs. Catholic has had injuries galore. Emma Stefano, a really good shooter perimeter kid, hurt her knee last week and she's done. They have 2 other kids, including Stella Higgins, who you guys know, who's missed the whole year with a knee. It's kind of like a mash unit at Catholic, but it's playoff time for the Crusaders, so they'll flip the switch and be just fine. Could have Catholic Lebanon rematch from the final last year in the semifinals next Tuesday. We shall see. Columbia's like 8-2 in their last 10. They're playing well. CV, as mentioned, they're like an 11 or 12 win team that doesn't mind playing upbeat, transition tempo kind of a game. Okay. So interesting pod is the upper bracket in the girls.
Bottom half, Section 2 champion Ephrata and Section 3 runner-up Northern Lebanon, which is runner-up to Lancaster Catholic. And teams with good records here, at least.
19-3 for Northern Lebanon.
Yeah. And then Pequea Valley, Section 4 champion. Another team that's won a lot of games,
20-1.
Against, this is almost certainly Township as the Section 2 runner-up. I guess there is some possibility that Cedar Crest is alive via power rankings, but it's beyond remote.
They're going to let Crest play out their last game here on Wednesday night, so it'll be the district power ratings through tonight's games.
But they're not real close.
Township's 6 and Cedar Crest is like 13.
It's almost
it's going to be Township. And I put this in one of my online notebook things. When's Township and Pequea Valley play in anything?
Yeah, that's true.
That's really part of the best part of this tournament is you have these really good small schools and then you have this bigger school that's going to have to go through them to get to the championship.
And particularly so this year.
Yes.
I think a little bit on the girls' side, definitely on the boys' side. You just reminded me something that Tommy Smith said to me last night. He said, next week is my favorite week of the year.
Yeah, it is.
Our league loves this thing.
Big time.
Loves this thing. I think uniquely so. Anyway.
It is huge. That bottom bracket in the girls is wide open. Yeah. I could sit here and make an argument for all 4 of them to get to next Thursday at Township. Wide open.
And whoever gets through it will be a prohibitive underdog against
either. I hate to say that. You got to play the games. But
well, I said it. You
Go ahead. I don't disagree with you. But bottom bracket is wide open. Don't forget, Saturday, all these games are at noon because impending snow and weather on Saturday. So the 4 girls quarterfinals all tip at noon on Saturday, and we will be at all 4 games.
And then we got semis Wednesday on the boys' side. Semis Wednesday at Conestoga Valley. Finals Friday at Manheim Township. On the girls' side, semis Tuesday at Hempfield. Finals Thursday also at Township. Let's do some, for the good of the order stuff, Jason.
Lampeter Strasburg. Chase Smucker became the school's all-time leading scorer. He's at 1,333 points. Ooh. He led LS into Octorara last night, where the Pioneers pulled off a win. That puts them in a tie with Octorara. It'll come down to power ratings. Like I said, each team has 1 game left, so I guess it's mathematically possible they're going to need a break. They might need Octorara to lose to Haverford to get that last spot. LS belongs in the field.
Sounds like it.
I mean, they might be one of the top 5 teams in the league, let alone the top 8. They've won 7 of their last 8. They won at Cedar Crest. They won at Octorara. Their only loss is to Central at home, and they had possession down 1 in the final seconds.
Wow.
But they're not going to get in unless they get a power points break, which is a shame because that means Chase Smucker, who's arguably the league's best player, won't be in the field. But the tournament is not the best 8 teams. That's not set up to be that way, and it creates what we have on the girls' side where the small schools can play the big schools, and that's what this is supposed to be. And as a coach in the fall told me, in soccer, fair is a weather condition. So you just kind of live with the bracket as it is, and there's 3 teams that belong, and only 2 will get out of Section 3 and have that chance.
Interesting. Sounds like over the next couple of days, fair is a weather condition we would hope for.
Yes. Yeah, really.
Rhines.
All right, 2 things on the girls' side we must mention. Milestone first, Kyla Correa, senior, Lebanon. She did it. 10th girl in LL history to score 2,000 points 3 years in a row. The league has a 2,000-point scorer, Dreggy, Nair, and now Correa. Tack on Kiki Jefferson. 4 girls in the last 6 years have got to 2,000 points. It's a golden age of go-to scorers in the league. Pretty amazing. So, and she got it, as you mentioned, in typical Kyla Correa fashion.
Yeah, let's just say I watched your video that you took in the moment, and she missed a free throw to put her at 19.99, and this came on. Drive, get in the lane, pull up for a 10-footer, which is how she scores. It was
Pretty
like
much.
a classic Korea basket.
Yeah, it was.
So that was pretty cool.
Yep, so 2001 now for Correa moving forward, and I'm expecting a pretty deep run for Lebanon. I think they're playing into March, so congrats to her. Secondly, Brian McLeod, McCaskey girls coach forever. 2004 he took over, announced late last week on a Friday news dump that he will be retiring at the end of this season. 200 plus wins, a district title, 4 or 5 Section 1 championships back in the day. Great dude, always did it for the kids. Great guy. So he will be missed in Tornado Alley. Congrats, Brian McLeod.
Okay, when next we speak, folks, we will be down to the semis in the boys and the final in the girls. So we'll have, again, a lot to talk about and maybe kind of drill in a little deeper on those matchups. Plus, districts will be coming the week after that, so we can start to get into that. Anyway, for now, this has been the LL Basketball Roundtable brought to you by Student Transportation of America. For Mike and for Jason and for Jeff, we'll see you next time.